experience, right? Because you end up in middle management, you have a small team to manage.
Yeah.
Then now things are not so simple because it's not your rule or or no rule, right? It's like I hear you, bestie, but no, right? It's like I know, but no, cannot like that, right? Welcome back to Wise and Shine. I'm your host Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut.
And I'm Dawn, SG Budget Babe. Today we have a very special guest in the house who is...
Hello guys, my name is Kai Ashraf. Essentially I'm a father first. Convergent thinker and a problem solver at Rise Media.
You had to go there, huh? Convergent thinker. What is a convergent thinker?
That means I solve problems with by implementing a set of systems and processes
so cheap.
to ensure
is
that
it a technical term? Is it like a?
It is.
It's like a technical term.
It's a thing.
There's a cause, there's a
divergent thinker and there's a convergent thinker.
Tell me what's the difference?
Yeah, that's the difference. Like for convergent, that you will tend to implement like a system, a set of like system and processes, and define the workflow to ensure that you are addressing a specific issue or a challenge. So for instance, if I have a coworker that comes to me with a problem, I will present them like a set of solutions and who is accountable for what. So I feel like that clarity helps to aid us in terms of moving forward as a company and also to solve problems essentially within the company.
Yeah, that was a divergent thinker.
Divergent is
okay.
So
divulge
for
everything.
So for
divulge.
Oh my god, are we really like
expounding
on this? So for conversion, it's you are initiating like the implementation with like a set of like belief system that you have, right? But for divergent, you introduce like new ideas. You inject new ideas to solve a specific problem.
That's me.
So actually it's not
Really?
not good or bad lah.
No,
it's
no,
really
that's not
just
good or bad.
different.
Yes.
Is there good or bad in this world?
Of course, no. Racism is bad.
We say, lama, we going there?
No,
we're going there, right?
That's not the topic for today.
It's fine. But,
it won't make the cut.
But we self-select, right? We ask the Rise Media people what we expect, right? That's the thing they think about every day, right? Racism, all that. Okay, but anyway, we will go there. Another time. Yeah, but today's topic is important. It's very important because recently, I think the Vogue Salaryman guys drew a comic. Can I say wrote, right? Drew a comic.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I saw the comic strip.
I was like, yeah, you're not my family. Okay? You're not my family. And if you don't know that comic, please go and check it out. We'll get the producer to edit below.
And the title is Your Colleagues or
your colleagues, your family.
Yeah.
So today's topic, today's episode not sponsored yet, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about like, are your colleagues your family lah? Right, and I think the easy answer probably is there, but we can kind of expound it, a little bit deeper to try to figure out the perspective, right? So, are we? What are your positions?
No, my colleagues are not my family.
Okay.
And neither am I their
but
family.
where do you like draw the line?
I feel family goes very deep.
Yeah.
Right,
Colleagues can go very deep and become family too.
Okay, I guess workplace dating.
Is workplace relationship supported at Rise?
Not that deep, yeah. Of course, no.
Of course, no.
So if your employees they found true love, you would say it's not allowed.
Of course. I mean, they have to declare to HR, aka me. And then I'll determine.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it's allowed or not.
Why so strict?
No lah. No, seriously, I'm just kidding. I mean, of course, like they are free.
I didn't feel them kidding. I feel like this is the PR line.
There are two like consent parties here,
together,
guys.
Please, people.
I mean, I can't not support it, right? Because like where I come from, like how I met my wife is also at my workplace in my previous agency. Yeah, but I feel like we felt the need to remove ourselves out of the workplace because I think we were very professional in a way where we don't want to risk like affecting like our other colleagues who's actually like part of the working team, and also because this is like a PR.
Because too like lovey-dovey, so like affect like.
You're in the same team or different team?
Different team, but we do work together because I mean like if you were to work for like a creative like comms agency, you are required to actually collaborate, right,
around,
with like the creative team, the accounts team. And back then I was still a producer. So I was mainly in charge of like video productions. So if that requires like a more integrated campaign approach, that's where they will require like the producer to step in to help with the pitches as well. So yeah, so that's like that like line of like, we are not in the same team, but we do work together to a certain extent. And that's all we have when it comes to this conversation about my wife.
So yours is really your colleagues became your family.
Yes. So throwing that situation
Yes,
out.
please.
Okay, we throw that out. Are your colleagues your family?
My colleagues are my family to a certain extent because I think every one of us has like a different level of like investment in the company, and I feel like the essence of it, right, is to ensure like us, like the managers, rallying everyone together to achieve like a certain, like a specific set of goals. And I think it can get very problematic when we cross the line of like and the lines just gets blurred between like professional and personal. I mean, of course, like
but doesn't naturally blurs.
In what sense?
In a sense that in the office, yes, okay, we are first united by profession.
Yes.
Right? We didn't come in because like maybe some of you did.
And because they love Rice Media enough to join our family. Yes. The family of progressive thinkers who wants to make a difference to society.
Cut. But that aside, we first came in by profession, right? I mean, not saying like we, but most of us will come into an organization, whether it's a company, NGO, whatever. We come in by profession. Mm-hmm. Eventually, it gets to a point where you start to have personal relationship with some of the people inside. And that personal doesn't mean hanky-panky. We can be like friends, right? So,
all right. Okay.
So then the line naturally blur. I mean, I put that point out because people always say like you must keep it professional, separate it. But I find it very hard. And then when it blurs to a certain level, then you can on some level bring the person into your life as family. You know what I mean? Right. So it's a more it's on a spectrum in that sense. Yeah. We're colleagues. We're personal friends that we hang out outside of work, and then we become so kawan that, you know, we rather keep the relationship than like keep the work. Then we become family. You know, there's some.
I want to go back to what Kai said earlier.
Oh my God! Please don't
about
use my
how
point.
you all work together for like a shared goal of a company. That's the thing. There's no goal in family.
Exactly.
There's no goal in family.
There's no KPIs
there's
for
no
families.
KPI. It's just love. It's just happiness.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're the worst student or
love.
what. Exactly.
Oh my
you
God,
don't have that from your colleagues or your bosses.
I love Reggie's expression right now.
Yeah, you have unconditional love for your employees.
Okay, but please double down. I want to hear that point.
No, it's good.
I'm talking from my position as a mom. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 kids. And it really doesn't matter what they grew up to become. I mean, obviously, I do have certain hopes and dreams for my kids. But the truth is, whatever they grow up to be, what they want to pursue, whether they achieve or don't achieve certain metrics, right? Yeah. I don't care. They're still my
It's
family.
okay, right? Yeah,
they're still my kids. So it's
few chances before we invite them out of the door, of course.
Invite.
But yes, I completely concur to your point.
And I mean, going back to when I first started working, all along, right, I was very clear about dividing my personal and professional life. Okay. So in my very first job, I remember it was a very young family. It was a company with very young folks. So the culture was very like more family, like, you know, very friendly.
Yeah,
all of us around the same age,
yeah,
20s and all. And they were adding each other on Facebook. I was very uncomfortable with that. They wanted to add each other on Facebook, and they did. And then I lied. I said,
you lied? You don't have Facebook.
I don't really use Facebook. Right. Or like they say, hey, I added you. Like,
I'm on
you
Friendster.
did? I didn't see. No, they were like, confirm.
Oh my God. Yes.
So I just said, oh really? I didn't see. I'm so sorry. I'll check. But I don't really log into Facebook, which was a lie. The only person in my whole company whom I had on Facebook was my uni friend, because I roped him into the company. So I told him, you don't expose me. And he added all our other colleagues as Facebook friends. But I was very, very like, no. And until today, I don't have my colleagues on my Facebook.
But there's a feature on Facebook like that it will indicate like your mutual friends with who, right? if you were to like search your name, for instance.
And I think now Facebook also a bit more tight because you can set like different visibility to different groups.
Right.
But back then don't have, right? You go back to a decade ago, Facebook didn't have these advanced features.
Yeah.
You add someone means they get access to everything. And I didn't want it because I didn't want them to see, for example, like when I was in uni, I did a lot of like, dance and performance and all that. Then maybe some of them don't like this kind of stuff, or maybe like I had a lot of like gay friends, and then maybe some people in my company don't know whether maybe my boss, for all we know, is anti-gay. Then he judged me, and then I get deprived of some work opportunity just because I'm friends with gays and I don't see anything wrong. I didn't know what the repercussions would be, and I didn't even want to think about it.
Sense, right?
Yeah, correct. Because my salary is on the line.
Yes,
so really, really pure divide. Yeah, and even till today, I'm in my 30s already, right? I still don't have any of my colleagues on Facebook. And I won't. If they add me, I will use the same. Maybe after this, I cannot also I say already.
Comment section below, tag her Facebook.
No, but now I will accept. You know why? Now Facebook lets you control visibility. It's not just restricted access.
Don't worry, another decade, no more Facebook already.
Right? Sorry, Meta.
Yeah, don't worry. You will end up in the Meta. You had a question?
I had a question, sorry I forgot. But how's your experience being on Friendster? You
want to leave me a testy? Right, testy, right, testy. Oh my god!
Reggie, how's your experience being on Friendster? Do you accept your friends, colleagues, to be on your Friendster list? Oh my god, is that what they call Friendster list?
Is it a Friendster list? I don't know. I can't remember.
Friends,
Friendster was my primary school days. Maybe
Yeah.
your JC days. Hey, okay. Social media. I think social media is an extension of the discussion, right? In the sense that, we are essentially trying, or at least a lot of companies are trying to establish this idea that we are not just here to work together, right? Try to appeal to your higher order needs, right? The whole social, unity, creativity, actualization, whatever thing that companies are trying to appeal to you for. And by extension, then bring into the discussion of are we a family or are we friends? Or do we have a relationship out of work? And then by extension, do we add on social media?
Do we have an in-between,
friends and family? I feel it's very loosely...
Right.
It's very loosely used.
No, work and family. Do we have an in-between? Where we still interact professionally, but in terms of sharing of personal information, hey, my kid fell sick last week. That's considered personal information, right?
Platform. I think it depends on the person. Because some people thrive with having friends in the workplace. And I know of people whereby if they don't have a workplace bestie or super good friend, right?
Oh my God,
they will find it a chore to go to work.
Bestie is Gen Z language.
We are Gen Zs.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
They are sleeping. Gen Z.
But there are also some people like me who prefer to keep it really clean and separate. And I feel it's really just the person. So for me personally, I like to keep things separate so I can be my best version in that zone, in that space. So it's that's also the reason why I separate my work and budget babe, right? The blog. A lot of people, when they find out I have a corporate job, just like when you guys did when you found out budget babe is not full time, you all are so surprised. And then when you ask what I do, it's not even linked to what my blog is about. But that's what I like, because I can excel in something only when I put myself completely in the zone. And I feel having, all these other not exactly directly professional stuff, like having a workplace bestie, treating your colleagues like family, having a culture where it's very family-like, I don't see the need for it. To me, it's just, I come in, I know what's my KPI, what I need to achieve, what I need to help the company get to, and I'm going to do my job damn well, such that you're paying me my salary and not X me and very hard to replace me. And whether or not I am best friends with everyone, I don't care. But I am friends with everyone. We can talk. We are very sociable.
We are friendly.
Friendly. Can get around and I work very well as a teammate. I don't think there's anyone who has ever worked with me in my corporate job who would say I'm not a team player. Because they know that I protect their interests very, very well. I'm an account manager.
Same.
So I really defend my team from clients and the outside world very well. And when I ask them questions, they know I'm not investigating or accusing them. I'm asking them for cold hard truth because they know I will then fluff it and package
you can spin it in a way
to the client,
that's
right?
more palatable
so
for
they
clients.
know my stance. But that doesn't mean that we're friends or we're family. It's just
I
this
think
is
it's
my job.
having each other's back. I think it's important to be as part of the culture.
Yeah.
And I think just to build on that, right? I also feel that like your perception towards like this whole like work and family like conversation that we are currently having now, I feel it evolves, right? When you move up the ladder. When you are like a junior executive, right? Like for me, I think like the reason why I got together with my wife, also because like we don't feel like any pressure. Consider that, hey, is it okay for us to be like together? Because I think like when you're at a junior level, right, you just do what you like to do lah. Everybody lah. Then after that you just
True.
Then after that you just think of like the consequences like later on, right?
That is not thinking about
Yeah.
I think I'm the opposite of what you described. I'm just so careful. All the consequences all come first, so I don't dare to do anything.
Yeah. So I think like when you move up the ladder and then you are taking on like more responsibilities and accountable like for like the various aspects of like the company, then you realize like then your mindset shifts, like hey, because you are seeing like you're experiencing and seeing like so many like conflicts, right, between like co-workers because of a particular situation or issue, and then they brought it up to like HR, and then I think like for large organizations, right, I'm not sure the usefulness of having a HR department when managing conflicts. But I
Usually
think
it's the manager of the teams.
yeah, right. Yeah. So I think like as a startup or SME, right, we're quite like a very small team. So usually it will be raised to the
HR.
upper HR, conversion thinker, everything else, right? Yeah. So I think like in that way, I also try my best, right, to see like, because every situation is so unique, right? And you have like a very different relationship with like person A, person B, person C, and how are you trying to moderate it in a way where you are hearing both parties? It's a skill to have.
It is.
Yeah.
I do agree, and I like the optics, because I think that is what a lot of our listeners, and including myself, we experience, right? Because you end up in middle management, you have a small team to manage.
Yeah.
Then now things are not so simple, because it's not your rule, or or no rule, right? It's like okay. It's like I hear you, bestie, but no. Right? It's like I know, but no. Cannot like that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's the bigger goal. There are other
Yeah.
things that we were going for. It gets
Yeah.
very nuanced.
Yep.
And you're not the only fire I'm fighting.
Exactly. Can I just highlight that?
Yes, please. highlight. You're not the only
Emphasize
fire
that.
I'm fighting. You're not the only fire I'm fighting.
It needs to be
okay?
a
Yes.
TikTok
Yeah,
card.
ding, 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 ding. So yes. So
Yes.
many problems, right?
Yeah.
Every day something is happening. Okay, I'm not saying us lah. We're okay, right?
Yeah,
So
we're
you're
okay,
sponsor,
we're
you're
okay.
fine. Okay, you're safe hands. But it's so, like you need to prioritize, and
Yeah.
I do understand the power of like making this sound like a family.
So
Because
having said that, right, I think adding a different perspective, even though I'm all the no, right?
Yeah.
There is value in potentially for middle management or bosses or HR to create a culture that is like a family,
Yep.
but recognize that it's not. And I think also it's becoming increasingly important because now people have more power to change jobs. It's not like the old era, stuck forever,
Yeah.
rice bowl, loyalty, reward kind. Now
Yeah.
people hop very often. And for all you know, one of the reasons that might retain them, and we all know talent retainment is super important
Yes.
because replacing is so pricey.
half
Yep.
a year
Right, it's
salary.
very expensive.
Aga.
So retaining, right, one thing that could help retain people could be the culture that you create. And for some, maybe that culture is family. So it's an intangible thing that doesn't cost you money.
Mhm.
But if you have a team, you have workers, you have people under you who do value that, I can see why it can be a very attractive proposition
Yeah.
to pitch it in this way.
Yes,
lah.
it is. And that's the part that I really want to like elaborate, right? The first thing is, as an individual,
Mhm.
you must wake up lah, right? This is not a real family.
Yeah. The
As-
manager you try to create, but
Yes,
if
yes.
you're the receiving party, you're like,
Yes.
must know.
As
this
an
not real
individual,
family.
yes, you want to work in a friendly environment. Everybody kawan-kawan, like, okay, great,
Kawan-kawan.
bestie,
Yeah.
whatever, you do your thing. But you must wake up. This is not a family, right? If you don't perform, out you go. If someone more influential than you badmouth about you, prolonged period, you get penalized, right? So there's a lot of these things that are reality in the organization, that you're not like a family. But at the same time, I understand why managers do that, right? They do that because it's is a smart way lah. Right, it's a smart way to manage, and then you say, oh yeah, and you try to appeal to their needs, you do all that, and everybody like friend, family, then it's like, okay lah, never mind lah, small thing is okay lah, right? Because that is not the priority at the point in time.
Yeah.
Right. But when the bigger fires are done, maybe you can come in and solve these problems. Like if you want to, or if you can even explore, but that perspective is important, lor.
It can help, So I give 2 examples. Tribute to the work man who inspired this episode, right? If you talk to one of their staff, Vivian, she will talk about
manager,
how, she will say
love her
how,
LinkedIn post, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vivian,
She
you got a
likes to
fan.
elaborate on like the woke salaryman's content, and then from like a business perspective, and post it on LinkedIn. I thought like that's quite like a
Very refreshing, right?
B2B marketing.
Ah,
Girl
Vivian, now
knows
you
her thing,
know.
right? Girl knows her thing. I know the strategy at play. Yes. We understand. Yes.
Okay, I don't follow her LinkedIn, but I follow her on Instagram. And I like how she will talk about how, she's late from work, and then she'll tell her boss, in this case, her bosses being Wei Ming and Wei Chun, right? And
Must be Wei Ming lah, Wei Ming.
yeah, then he'll say like, hey, I'm late, cycle or what. And then he'll say like, oh, it's okay, take your time. Or he will tell her a better cycling path or that kind of stuff. Or when she finally arrived, then he'll applaud her for arriving on her bicycle, less carbon pollution, healthy and whatever, all that stuff. Like, and she just feels like, wow, this is so different from, corporate where I come in, you late 5 minutes, and then, every day give you black eye. I remember, I know. She says how nice and refreshing it is to work in that culture. So that's one. And I think it really helps. I mean, I don't think it's a marketing thing to introduce other interns or other new hires to the work salaryman, but I can feel she genuinely loves working there, and maybe that's why that makes her in that position to write such a nice LinkedIn post that you appreciate as well. And the second example I'll give is y'all know the lifetime influencer called Monga Bong.
Mongchin.
Yeah, Mongchin, right? So she has a group of interns. I don't know if it's interns or full-timers. Sorry, I don't follow close enough. But I did realize that she has this group of girls who work with her very closely, and she really treats them like family. She celebrates their birthday, buys stuff for them, shares a lot of goodies and perks and all with them. And in return, I can see how they really genuinely put in so much to help her with her business, to work hard. And I think it's beautiful. Like if I was a young 20-something wanting to learn more about content creation, I would be more enticed to work with someone like Mongchin because of that family culture that I'm seeing on Instagram versus another influencer with a team where I don't really see much about. Or I don't feel like the influencer treats the team as family. Yeah, like Reggie, I don't really see you posting your team like family. So I would rather join Mongchin than you.
There are different kind of dads. Some dads,
some dads
are just like, okay, you do you lah, go for it lah. I don't need to go around telling, hey, I got a good son lah. Hey, like alamak.
Right, that's why dads don't post things on social media.
No, I don't bother. Right?
My husband does.
But
balance.
Balance.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's a very good point. There are different types of dads.
There are different types of dads. There are different types of management. And let's be clear. I mean, you already caveat in the opening that you say that, as much as we want to create a family-like environment, this is not a family. We're not going to accept all mistakes, right? If you cannot perform, I don't care how fast you cycle. If you cannot perform, out you go. Right? And I think that's the baseline that we need to wake up from. I know I sound like up, right? Hey, I hope you're enjoying Wise and Shine so far. I'm your host Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut, and for us to continue to do this show so that you become a tad bit wiser every week, you gotta like, share, subscribe, help us beat the algorithm, but even more importantly, if you can, comment in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts and also some questions that you would love us to answer. Now back to the show. Hey, let's be clear. The idea here is we all want to work in an environment that we are comfortable, familiar, friendly, well and good. Right? We want to reduce friction. We want to reduce the emotional outbursts. We want to make sure this place is cohesive. I think nobody will debate against these points lah. Unless maybe you run a sales team. Sales teams are different, competitive. Different function, different team. These are different. But
and we want a place where we can speak up and be heard.
Yeah. Let's be clear. I will let you speak up. I may not hear you. And
people want to feel, at least you let them feel that they are being heard lah.
And I, as person that will advise all managers, right, you should listen to everybody but don't hear all of them. Okay,
You should
let them speak.
feel
You let them
heard,
speak. Yes,
but doesn't mean that you really work on their ideas.
exactly. You must weigh everybody's viewpoints differently.
Yes, correct.
Okay, not everybody is equally in the same caliber to talk about the thing, and then that's a tangent. Okay, right? So with that as the caveat, right, and the idea that okay, you come in, all these beautiful things I do for you or the company established for you is so that you perform well. Or you perform to a level where the company expects you of.
Yes.
Right? It's like every day I buy you free lunch in Google, I expect you to code very well, right? I expect you to do, if you cannot do that, then out you go, right? So, and that is the reality I think that people need to wake up from.
Yeah. I think like they romanticize the idea of like the future of work.
Yeah. Yes.
Future of
Especially
work
like
is not
post-COVID.
working. That is the future of work, right? You get to a point where everything is automated, you can all relax. That's the best future, right?
I just think I want to give a shout out to my manager. So I've been with different managers throughout my corporate work career lifespan, right? And my current and most latest manager is really one that I love in the sense that what I think she does very differently is whenever I talk to her, I feel very heard. Yeah, HEARD, not HURT.
A lot of people feel very hurt when they talk to their manager.
Yeah.
No, I feel very hurt because it's like I might need to like take some time off to pick my kid up early or like to send him to a therapy session or something, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be out there to tell her that without fear that she's going to judge me for it.
Yep.
And it only works because she trusts me that no matter what, no matter how I shift my timings around, I will still get the work done. But it's also, so it's mutual respect. She respects that of me and I respect her enough to be not vulnerable, to be honest and tell her, look, I'm not going to be at my workstation during this time, just so you know. And she's always okay about it. She's like, sure, take all the time off you need. Do you need a day off? And then if I'm sick, when I had COVID, I said, I'll just take 3 days empty first. She just rejected it. She straight away applied 5 days for me on my behalf. And then I'll try to come back if I can. I don't know how COVID is going to affect my body yet. Like, no, just take all the time off. If you need longer, go ahead. So I love how she's very understanding. She feels very hurt. I feel very hurt all the time when I talk to her. But there's a line to be drawn. While I will openly tell her that I need to do this because family or whatever without fear of judgment, it also helps that she has also been a mom herself. So we have similar experiences and can relate. But I've stopped at being vulnerable. Yeah, so there's only a certain stage I will go to when it comes to, obviously if let's say, not that it happened, but let's say if my husband and I are like fighting so badly and we're on the verge of divorce, I'm not going to tell her that kind of thing, right? Because she might then think, will it affect your work? Whereas kid being sick is a bit more common, it's okay, and I am not as ashamed to talk about that. But if I were to rewind back to another manager I once had at one point of my career, I was very scared to say these kind of things. I would try to cover it up. If I need to take time off, I'll either make sure someone else goes and get it done, or I will faster show and then I disappear without telling, because I'm very scared of how she will react if I tell her honestly that I took the time off even though I completed my work. Yeah. So I think that's a very big difference.
Yeah. And I think the truth here is, right, this is to me the truth. Every piece of information that your manager has about you goes into how they evaluate you. Whether is it formally or casually, or like you walk past the corridor, then they hear some remark, they see your social media, whatever. Every piece of information will come into your manager's, psyche and be like, this person is like that.
Yeah,
right.
It's a collective kind of perception to a particular coworker.
Exactly. So all those things will add to how managers evaluate you and by extension means that they're not your family, okay? But
exactly.
And I want to double down on that whole work culture thing, right? In other words, it is not so much about like, this company more gracious, that company. No. It's just in different organization there is a cultural epitome. Okay, that means this is within this organization. This is what is expected of the culture, whether is it sung or unsung. Okay, it is there, and the closer you are to this culture, right, the higher probability of you to get promoted. This is correct truth.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you want a family culture, then you go to the work salary man. You don't come to the financial coconut.
No, you're wrong. Okay, I am very
Different dads, right?
yeah,
Different types of dads,
different dads.
right?
Okay, I am very family friendly. I just don't go around showing people.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to
But
keep
you
it
must
private.
show them they
Choose
feel
your
like
dads
you
properly.
Choose.
value
You can choose,
them.
right? You can choose. Up to you.
Oh yeah, you can choose your
Yeah,
whole family.
you
You,
can
can't
choose.
choose your real
Yes,
family.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the idea here is, the closer you are to that cultural epitome, the higher chances of you getting promoted. This is the reality. Okay, and it is the situation where a lot of companies have moved forward in terms of how they evaluate individual thinking worker these days. No longer the manufacturing line method, right? On thinking workers. That's why you don't come in, it's okay. You 3 days don't appear, it's fine. As long as you have output, great output, numbers are good, okay, life's good, carry on, right? So that is a shift.
Provided the manager is of that mindset lah.
So provided that culture accepts something like that,
Yeah.
and the manager that they hire as an extension of that culture is like that.
Mm.
Right. So if you are in an organization that the culture is not like that, please don't romanticize why my manager cannot be like that. You have to organize and do a cultural shift, or you change to another place.
Yeah.
Right. Don't-
100%.
Yeah, I think that's the base idea.
No. I love your thoughts on this. I think you're pretty much aligned. I just wanna like pick your brains a little bit, right? Okay, so what if like a situation like your subordinate, okay, come up to you, and then hey, here's the reason why I'm performing badly at work recently. I just broke up with my girlfriend or boyfriend. How will you like react to that?
Okay, so I am of the view that you cannot break up the individual. The family things at home will affect the person at work as much as the things that happen at work will affect the family, right? So firstly, you must recognize that if your employee is willing to tell you this information, you are quite a good manager because they feel safe enough to tell you this reality.
Correct.
If they don't feel safe enough, you must be able to observe, right? So it's like when you work with kids, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they cannot elaborate everything. If the kid can tell everything, great. But sometimes you got to pick up the small little things, like they look down a lot, they don't even want to talk
Or in
to
their
people.
drawings suddenly very black.
Exactly, right? So the small little things, you as a manager, you should observe that, right? So this is the first line. So for the very fact that they're willing to tell you, that means they trust you enough, right? Then the next tier of thought that I will go with is that, okay, if you're affecting your work, how do we work around this, right? Can we adjust this? Because like we said, this is not a real family. Like we have family culture, but it still work. Right? So you must achieve your work. So how much time and resources as a company that I can give you? If I'm a big organization, I got many different editors or many different writers. You don't perform for 2 months, okay lah, take a break lah. Go and breathe, take a breather, right? If I have extra time, I don't even mind like counseling or like talk a little bit more together. It's fine, right? But if I'm a small startup, very lean, I only got 3 writers, 1 down, two left, not enough time, then sorry sister, you have to like wake up and get up. Right. Because that is the reality.
That's a little bit harsh.
But that is the reality.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just what it is. And it's not a personal like I don't
Get
hate.
up and get out. Love it.
It's either you get out or you get out. Because if I love you to a point where I get into a danger situation, I am hurting everyone else.
That's true.
Right? So and this is what the Chinese always say, right? If you've never take care of the family, you don't know how difficult it is. Right? So when you never take care of a big organization, you don't know that, it's not always about the moral high ground. Oh, you must be lovey-dovey. It's like, okay, great. If you can, good, right? If I can afford, I will let you stay because and the very fact is that if I even consider such a position, that means you must have done great work previously. Right? That means you have done consistent good work.
Yeah.
And now it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly time. That's why if I can give you, I will give it to you. But if I cannot, then I really just cannot. It's structural. It's not personal.
Exactly.
And I know when I say this, right, it's like people are like, easy to say. It's like, you do lah. You can't. You tell me a better way to manage this situation. Right?
So for me, I'll take a slightly different stand.
Yeah.
Yes,
How will you do it?
I would invite the employee to be a part of the problem solve. So I'll first ask the employee, because I'll recognize that everyone takes different recovery periods.
Yes.
Some people break out. They very rah-rah at work, because it's a distraction. It helps them to get over the
coping
breakup.
mechanism.
And I also don't want them to do that. I will also feel like you need to, because this
I would want them to do that if they are that type. So they must tell me lah, because they don't tell, I don't know which type,
Okay,
right?
I'll
Then I
give you
later,
more.
later I wrongly assume.
Yeah,
So I would
yeah.
ask them like, do you need time off? How
Yes.
much time do you think you need to get over this? And I'll say like,
Yes.
then I'll confirm like, are you sure? Because people might say, I can one, don't worry, it won't affect my work. I just wanted you to know. Then I say, no, look, you tell me because you probably think it might affect your work, right? So let's be honest here. Do you need time off? Like, how long do you need? 1 week, 1 day? Everyone has different recovery
Yeah.
stages.
Yes.
Just tell me how much you need.
Yeah.
Then after the person says it, then I'll invite, if that is a problem for the company or the team, then I'll invite the person to reflect on that and see if there's anything they can do to be a part of it. So for
Nice.
example, you say, the person says, I think I need 1 week off lah. I really
Yeah.
very emo. I say, okay, yeah, sure, let's take 1 week off for you. Recover first, then come back and be at your 100%. I'd rather have a 100% employee than a 60%,
Yeah.
80% gonna come back also can, but 60% no lah. I think you go and recover. But it's a problem. I only got 3 writers. You want down 2, it will be a bit hard for our team. I'm not sure if the other 2 will be able to step up because they also
Right.
have their own challenges. What do you think you can do? So I will invite the person
Yeah,
to problem
yeah.
solve. Yeah, whether it is like, then instead of get out lah. Maybe the person say, okay, I think I need to take some time.
I
You
appreciate
go
that
and
sentiment
get-
too.
Okay,
Yes.
sister, I must. I feel like the optics has shifted. That's a very bad painting of what I just said. It is not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay, I will work with the person to find out how far
Yeah.
How far they can go,
right?
yeah.
And if you and to be fair, I'm one that is very okay with sabbatical also,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If you need a 3-month break, and we can come to a position where it doesn't impact the company, and at the same time we can kind of, or even if it impacts the company, we get it to a manageable level, right? It does
Yeah.
not need to be like, company cannot have problems. It's we get it to a manageable level. You take a break, get yourself together, and then we can come together on it again,
Yeah.
right? And let's be clear, this is not a family, right? It is built on the idea that you have done great work for 3 years.
Yes.
Let's say you
Yes.
must give me enough data set to know that you are valuable team player.
Yeah.
You perform really well. You're a great person to work with. You are trustable. It is just this situation that caused these problems, and I'm willing to give you as much leeway as I can.
Yeah.
To make it work.
Yeah. And recognizing that their problem does not or will not become a company problem, because if they really need time off and telling you, asking for that sabbatical, it puts you in a position to manage that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't become a problem. So you can plan for, okay, you need 3 months off. You go take 3 months off. How about I'll find a part-time writer first?
Yes.
Yeah, a contract writer first, just to
Yeah.
cover you during this period. Then we
Yeah.
can review again when you're back in 3 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe I will need you to start this break 1 month down because I need time to source. Right? So
Yeah,
it is us
correct.
coming together on it, right?
Yes.
And I hate it when managers don't do that.
Exactly.
When
exactly.
managers just like, why cannot, right? Like they just brush it off.
A
Like,
lot of
I'm
it
not like
very
that one lah. Just saying.
dictatorial, right? But
Yeah.
it can be, I think the future of work can be in this mutually respectful
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the parameter of a successful manager, right? Like how
Yeah.
do you go through all these complex situations, with the frame of thought and make the situation work, right? And not, it's like, you're not good enough. A performance review minus.
Yeah.
you go, right?
Get up and get out.
Anyhow, paint my picture.
You're not the only fire I'm dealing with.
Anyhow, paint my picture. Okay. So give me, last question.
Yeah.
Give me one situation in your workplace that made you question, is my work my family?
I'm not sure whether it's toxic or not, but because I have
Zad, right?
responsibility.
Zad very toxic.
Because
I know. Zad.
No lah. Because I have like
Hey, your
responsibility.
Nola not reassuring.
It's not
very-
interrupting me. Because I have responsibilities as like a dad, right? So like every morning, I will usually send my boy to infant care and then my wife to work. Then after that, at like 6:30, I'll have to like fetch him like from infant care as well. So I feel like that. I do feel bad about it, you see, because like it somehow like limits like my working time, like because usually I will tend to like stay up like a little bit like till like 7 or 7:30, like as long as like I get my work done for the day, and then okay, I can just go about like doing like my personal shit lah. But I think like with this new responsibilities, like you really need to consider like, okay, like 9:30 to 6:30, but okay, I need to take like a bit 15 minutes like just to get to the school, because 7 p.m. is the cutoff time. Like you will need to pay extra actually. So you don't want to risk that lah. So usually I will tend to maybe leave a little bit earlier. But then to compensate that, right? Like that guilty feeling, like oh
You
my
work
god,
at
like
night.
yeah. So like I will have like my wife and kid sleep first. Or if I were to put my baby down to sleep, then I will maybe do like a quick nap, like 2-hour nap. I'll wake up, open my laptop, and I'll just like work. Yeah. Or if I maybe want to take like a longer nap, I'll like wake up at like 4 a.m. So that's like my start of the day already. Then my coworkers will know like I'm like sending out emails like at 4:30 a.m. but not for them to respond. But it's actually for me to just like get work done, get things done, just so that they can respond later at 9:30.
And you know you can schedule email, right? You can schedule
Is
it. Go
it?
out at 8
Oh my
a.m.,
god,
you know.
I'm not a tech
You
savvy,
don't have to send
obviously.
it
So
at
you don't freak them
4.
out, right? No, but it's a cultural difference because my
I
team
do
also
the
had this
exact-
problem.
Really?
I do
Because
that
I
same
wake-
thing, you know. I will work at night because it's the exact same. I have to pick my
And
kids.
it's so like quiet and dark, right?
Correct.
You just
so you're
feel
more
like
productive, right?
Yeah.
But what I do is
Yeah.
I will schedule the emails to go out the next day at 8 or 8:30 or 9 a.m. So it
Oh
looks
my
like I actually
God.
work at that working hour,
That-
but I never.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
I also
hack.
don't
Hot
want to.
take.
It's a hack.
Hot take. Yeah.
No, I also don't want people to persist me like working at 4 a.m. You see.
I know. I know.
Now you know, so you can now implement this new
Alright.
tip.
Yes,
Taught to
Thank
you
you.
by Budget
Thank you
Babe.
so much.
Yes, yes.
SGBudgetBabe.com.
I will implement that because I had a long. I always have a cultural curve where I have to educate the newbies, right, of the team. Like this, it's okay not to reply. It's okay. You're at the gym. It's fine. If it's urgent, I call you until your phone break. Right? It's not urgent. You know, we are not running time sensitive discussions. Right?
Yeah.
I send you. You reply. Don't need to paise if you're at the gym. Right? I always feel like there's a need for me to. Well, I mean, my example very specific. Huh?
Gym, huh?
Yeah, it's who?
Yeah.
I don't know. Very paise. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I'm out. It's like, out lah. Right? Yeah. You know, it's take your time, but okay, I will learn. I will schedule. 9 a.m. Right? Not people will not freak out. Yeah. What about you? What is one scenario where you feel like your work is your life, your colleagues are your family? It's just very hard to separate.
Don't have. So I never felt that. Really, I draw
Because
the
you
line
draw the line
very
very
clean.
clearly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think like one.
I like that, actually. I like how
Yeah.
you're drawing the line and you have very like clear strategies.
Yeah.
It's not
because
like
it works for me.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that line gets blurred, then I will really get very confused.
Right.
I know.
Then
Okay.
I cannot perform 100% in each zone.
That's
so
true.
it's something that I recognize in myself early on, and I just build it that way, lor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going back to the question, I remember in the early stage of my career, it was most of the time it comes down to money. Because with family, you just kind of accept and you want to work hard and give your family everything. Money is not really a limiting factor if you can control it. You try not to let it be, right? You, as a parent, you want to send your kid to the best school or if he want to go football class, you want to send him there without saying, sorry, I cannot, unless really
Right.
cannot.
Yeah,
Right? You
yeah,
try
yeah.
hard. But at that workplace, like I felt like I was really giving a lot of value, and I justified, right? I put together, I looked through all the stuff, and I said, hey, this is how much I've actually brought in for the company, the value I'm growing, and then this is how much the person before me was paid. I know I'm not as senior, but I've proved my worth surely in the last 1 year. I think I do deserve a raise,
Yeah.
and I asked for a raise, and it wasn't even a lot, but I was just flat out rejected,
Right.
and I was like, if it's really family, you wouldn't do this to me. You're just treating me as like cheap labor. Because I'm cheap. I don't know, is it because of my age, I'm female or whatever. But yeah, if you really truly value it, and it's not just me asking out of the blue, no, I really justified. And there was a very strong reason for it because the other person was let go. So you really have more budget. It's not budget. Yeah, but if you don't even want to give that to me, then how can you say you're my family?
Yeah.
So that really got to me. And
Right.
it really reinforced that
Yeah.
you're not my family. You can say everything. You can be very nice, kawan, but no, we're not family. There's
Yeah.
a line to be drawn.
Yeah.
I
But
like
I
that.
think I really admire that. Like I think as a manager, I do appreciate like for like my coworker to actually present like their case, right? Like the reason why they feel like they are entitled to a remuneration. Like, oh, these are the things like I did for you, and then these are like the kind of like projects that I've brought in. And I feel like that will give like even though the manager has like that context to that, but once you're able to quantify it, right, it gets easier, Yeah, to bring your case up. Yeah, if not, it's just gonna be like, arbitrary in a sense where, I think like you have already done this. But once you manage to like put up like a proposal like that, I mean, I love proposals.
Convergent thinker.
And also, I think, don't you think it's a very
Convergent.
good opportunity the other way around? Because let's say if the case I present you to justify the salary increase that I think I deserve, and you disagree, you think that this portfolio is not, because in order to get here, I need to do a bit more this, and you can tell me that.
Yes.
I work to that, and we have this conversation again when we get there.
Yeah.
But that was not what I got.
Right.
It was just company just pay different people differently.
Yeah.
What kind of bullshit reason is that?
Horrible.
So that's not family, right?
No.
Family means what? I love my younger kid or my older kid more than the other one. No, it's unconditional. It's equal.
Is
Even
it really
if I
equal?
got favorite, I also
Sorry,
won't
is
say
it really
right?
equal?
You got favorite, you cannot say what. Later the kid who's not your favorite will feel very bad, you know.
Right, okay.
I love it. I love how
Interesting.
PR people are breaking PR narratives. Nice.
Okay, so to wrap up.
To wrap up, I don't really know what to say. Like for me,
I do.
Yeah,
I feel
please.
like this whole culture of creating family, treating your colleagues as family, as middle managers, to want to create that, I think you need to understand the pros and cons of it. So middle managers is encouraged. It's good that you try to foster this environment. So your employees will feel more of a sense of belonging and make them a little less likely to leave for another place. Cannot stop and completely but less likely, you know. But at the same time, if you are an employee, I think we also need to recognize that all this is still at the end of the day still PR. The workplace family is not really family in the proper sense of the work. And we need to understand there are KPIs, there are going to be some lines that cannot be crossed, even though family no line to cross one. But sorry, our workplace family got lines, so you might be very clear of where that line is. Yeah. But I think what we've discussed today brings a very nice perspective for both ends. Yeah, so we just need to understand our role, pros and cons, and then, you know, if you want a family culture but your workplace doesn't have, then go and find lah.
Do
you can send me your
business.
resume. You can send me your resume. Okay, don't just go.
thank
Do a
Don't
family business.
Family business even worse. I tell you. Another day. How horrible the worst.
Another day.